know this single trick can makes your database read up to 100 times faster? Let me show what I mean by that. So here I have a very simple query. So we are fetching the information for an user whose email is this. So when you run a query like this, so what happens is that your database goes to the table and it checks each and every row. So it checks the first row and it checks is the email that you are looking for. If no, then it moves to the next row. And similarly, it goes on until and stops only when it has find that row which has the expected email ID that you are looking for. There is a problem with this approach is that suppose that your table is very much large. So it has hundreds of thousands of rows. Your query will search for each and every row and that will make the query run slow. We call this operation as a table scan. And this is not a very good thing for your performance. So to solve this kind of problem, one thing we can do is that we can add indexes. So you can add the indexing on the table and that will make the read operation faster. So indexes, if you talk about the indexes in the database, they are just like the indexes of a book. So suppose that you have a storybook, now you want to read a specific chapter for that, and if the book has index, then what you will do is that you will just you will not randomly search for the pages. Instead, you will go to the content and you will check what is the page number for the chapter that you are looking for. And once you have got the page number, then you will directly go to that page. But suppose that you don't have any index on that book. So what you will do, you will go page by page until you find the chapter. So similarly, same operation happens in the database also. So when you search for a specific row, if you don't have indexing done on the table, so it will search for each and every, it will scan through the entire table and it will scan through each and every row, and that is called the table scanning. So that is not good for your database application. So you can add an index on the user email that column just like that. So what indexing does is that it creates a separate data structure and it will store the data for the index that you have done. So here you have done the indexing on the user email, so it will create a binary tree data structure like that. And suppose that you are looking for the email as Lisa, so what you will start from M and it will check if the L is in the M left side or right side, and it's the left side, so it will go to the left side. And then it is G, so now it will search for is the Lisa L is in the left side or right side, so it is right side, so like that it will do. So it's pretty much similar like whatever we have in the binary tree. So similarly it will search, the data retrieval will be much faster and it will not have to scan through each and every row because now the lookups will be very much faster. So now you might think that okay, so indexing makes the read faster, so now let's do indexing for all the columns and for all the tables. So that is not the right thing, because I'll tell you, so there are some downsides of indexing as well. So definitely indexing makes the database read much faster, but the problem is on the downside, it makes the write operation, update operation much slower. So suppose that have this table, so now that you have added the indexing on the email, so now suppose you added one more user. Earlier if there is no indexing, then you just simply add the user in the users table and you are done. But now that you have indexing, you have to also update the index as well, right? So you cannot just simply insert the data here and you can say it's done. It's not done because you have to update the index also. Suppose that you add another user at the 7th index. Okay, so that user name is john@gmail.com. So you have to add the John email in the indexing database also, not the database, indexing data structure as well. Okay, so that is that makes the write or update operation slower, because as and when you are doing the update or write operation, you have to make sure that the index are also updated. So that is the trade-off for the indexing. Like it makes the read faster, but it can make the write slower. Here the key takeaway is that so index doesn't do any magic like that makes the read query much faster. That's not the case. It's just that they reduces the number of lookup that the database has to do. After the indexing, it doesn't have to scan through the every row. Instead, it knows that in which row it has to look. That is how indexing makes the database read faster. So that's it for today's video. I hope you found this useful. Let me know what you think on this, and as always, thanks for watching.